get their airfare paid, and they would take a couple of days also extra and just go on vacation.
And these are the people responsible for your health, many people believe. Remember that, folks. When you go see your doctor, you're probably dealing with a criminal who accepted bribes. That's what these are. These are bribes. These are kickbacks. But they were never talked about that way, right, Allie? They were just sort of honorariums, that kind of language.
Absolutely. And it's so funny because I'm sure all of the listeners right now are shocked by this. This was everyday obvious for us. I knew it was wrong in my heart and my soul. I knew that this was wrong, which is why I had to get out of it. But it was so blatantly obvious what was going on. But everybody just like sheep kept walking toward the edge of the cliff, just kept doing it, just didn't care. I mean, the doctors wanted the money. The reps were getting money. They were, the more that prescriptions that they got, the better their sales were, the better their region did, the more kickbacks they got. Everybody was in on it. Everybody was complicit. It was not a big secret. Everybody knew what they were doing. So, Allie, we're not going to break yet, but when we do, could you stay on the line? We want to get your number and talk to you off the air. You know, you don't have to share your name or make it public or anything, but I'd like to talk to you more. It sounds like you know some other inside details that the public needs to know about this. Would you be willing to give our producers your phone number? Sure, I'd love to talk to you guys. Thank you. Okay, great. Yeah, just don't give it live on the air. You get a million calls. But so let me ask you some other questions. So how many doctors overall did your company deal with in your estimation? I mean, it was doctors for each and every single drug. So it was for instance, Santa Fe Aventis had their overall list of quote unquote speakers, and then each individual drug had their speakers. It had to be thousands. Wow. And what was the highest amount that you saw paid to doctors for these speaking gigs? $3,200 was the highest that I ever saw. Well, it was for, usually that was for a day's work. But, I mean, they could very easily, there were sometimes where they would make up to maybe $1,500, $1,800 for an hour for a visit, a lunch, breakfast, or dinner. But they could go do a breakfast and then a lunch and then a dinner, stack it up, and all of a sudden they're racking up $5,000 or $6,000 a day. Yeah, that's what Blair was telling us, exactly that. They would do a breakfast speech, a lunch speech, a dinner speech, and of course all the meals are paid for by the drug company. The travel was paid for, the hotel was paid for. Even other things, you know, like tickets to concerts and baseball games and Disneyland and places like that were paid for by the drug companies. And then the doctor would walk home from this vacation with an extra, $12,000 in their pocket for 2 days of giving speeches while they eat. Absolutely. And there were so many little things that they could get reimbursed for. Dry cleaning, meals at the airport, just anything that was incidental toward the trip, they got picked up too. So what was your position then? Were you recruiting doctors, or what exactly did you do? Yes, I would recruit the doctors based on the representatives, the pharmaceutical reps' suggestions. So they might find a doctor who they thought was in on the deal, so they'd submit their paperwork to get this doctor signed up to be on the speakers bureau, and then I would just physically coordinate the meetings and cut the check. So I would set up to get the speaker's airfare, hotel, and get him the slide presentation, everything he needed to do to go to this meeting. I would set up the on-site meeting, all of the little details. I mean, it might be a meeting that had 50, 60 people. It might be one doctor, like Blair was saying. There were times where the doctor would get paid $2,000 to go talk to one guy. And wow, that's funny because I volunteer here to talk to 2 million people. I do it because I believe in liberty, but these doctors are just pocketing money to tell lies about pharma. It's all propaganda education. Amazing. Absolutely. Unbelievable. I'm really glad you called. So you said in your heart you felt you knew this was wrong. Did you eventually leave because of that? Obviously, you're not working with that organization anymore. What happened? Yes, it was my first corporate job out of college, so I was maybe 23, 24. I was just happy to be getting a paycheck, and honestly, I didn't know what I was doing at first. Allie, stay with us. We got to go to break. Sorry to interrupt you. We got to go to a quick break, but stay with us if you would, please, Allie. We'll be right back on the other side with a lot more. Stay with us, folks. Continuing here with our caller, Allie, who helped coordinate these kickbacks, these that would have been called bribes to doctors, these so-called speaking fees. Here's what's going on here, folks, and you're getting this here first on Infowars.com, the Alex Jones Show.
there is a revolution taking place in medicine. The exposing of the pharma crimes, the mafia, the corruption, it's all coming out. The whole thing is a facade of just disinformation, falsified clinical trials, doctors getting kickbacks, FDA bureaucrats getting paid off, CDC officials getting lucrative multi-million-dollar jobs with the vaccine manufacturers. It is a giant orgy of corruption that's called medicine. And if you take that medicine out there, folks, if you take these drugs, if you take these vaccines, you are a sucker of these industries who are using your body to make profits for their own rich, filthy rich executives. You are a sucker if you fall for that. And the doctors are going to line you up for it too, because they're making money under the table at the same time. You trust your doctor? You're a fool. Let me tell you, you trust your doctor? Unless that doctor is into holistic health and alternative complementary medicine and understands nutrition, if you trust a mainstream drug-taking, drug-pimping doctor, you're a fool. And yeah, you can quote me on that. And we're going to continue with Allie right here, who's on the phone. Allie, amazing information that you were bringing to us. It just backs up everything else that we've been talking about here with Blair Hamrick, the Glaxo whistleblower, all the other information that's coming out. What do you think about the big picture, Allie?
Well, I think, as you said, don't let them use your body, but more importantly, don't let them use your mind either. As I was saying before we broke, I was just a young kid doing this job, and I just needed the money. And as I got deeper and deeper into it, I worked for the company for 3 to 4 years. I knew it was wrong. I was unhappy every day. I just felt bad and icky in my soul. So I got out. I started my own business. Completely unrelated to pharmaceuticals, but I started following my own passion and my own heart. And that's what the overall message is. Follow your passion, follow your heart, and you can't go wrong.
Yeah, I bet you made less money, but your soul felt better for it. Is that accurate?
Oh, I'm making a fraction of the amount of money that I made, but I'm happy. I feel like a happy person now. Yeah. I never had that before.
What do your family and friends say about all this? Are they aware of what you just shared with us, that all this is going on, or is it just this big secret that nobody talks about?
I think I only really have my parents, and they're very skeptical as well. So to them, they kind of get it. It's no big surprise. I mean, here in the Midwest, it's the secret that everybody knows, but nobody talks about. Everybody knows. It's the Leonard Cohen song. Everybody knows that ice are loaded, and it's just time to start talking out about it. It's time to start making life changes about it.
Absolutely. It's time to catalyze the whistleblowers. It's time to unleash that truth-telling everywhere. Why bury your head in the sand out there, folks? There's no more need for that. If everybody just told the truth, we could eliminate the corruption, eliminate the fraud, eliminate the suffering, bring back liberty, bring back honesty, honest medicine. Hey, what about free market medicine, so people have a real choice? That's what we need to bring back. Allie, you sound like a very credible whistleblower. I really appreciate you bringing your experience to the show today. We're almost out of time, but any final thoughts before we let you go here today?
Just thank you for letting me talk. I love Alex. I love you. I listen to the show every day. I never call in. I'm a little shy, but I finally heard Blair talking today, and I thought, if there's any day to call, it's today. So I hope that the information has been helpful to you guys, and best of luck, best wishes. God bless you for everything you've done.
Thank you, Allie. And you don't sound shy at all. You sound like you should have been in the InfoWars reporter contest video or something, actually. So you're doing a great job. Thanks for calling in. And everybody out there listening, thank you for watching. We're going to continue, by the way, with just 5 minutes of overdrive today, just to finish up some of the news we didn't have a chance to get to. But for everybody else, retransmission begins now. And check out Infowars.com for much more, and overdrive straight ahead for those online. All right, continuing here with just a few minutes of overdrive. This is Mike Adams filling in today for Alex Jones. I wanted to just take a little bit of time here because there's so many issues we did not have a chance to cover. But wow, what a show. What a show today. I don't know what you think about it, but I thought we had some great guests, some great information that got shared out there with the public. Look, things are changing. The transformation is upon us. The global police state is getting desperate to try to shut down free speech, precisely because this kind of information is coming out. The truth about the drug industry is coming out. It's complete fraud. It is just a system of kickbacks and payoffs and corruption with everybody on the take. As long as they make their money, they're willing to sacrifice the health of some child who's going to go into a seizure and be paralyzed or dead from a vaccine. They don't care. As long as they make their money and they can buy their Mercedes and they can get their fancy house, they don't care what happens to you and your children, all right? That's what we're dealing with here. It is an evil, kind of destructive, almost an infestation of the human spirit that has happened with these people. They've been taken over by, I mean, almost literally demonic forces of some kind. It's that bad. I mean, who on earth would sacrifice the health of children or senior citizens just so they can make an extra buck selling another few $1 billion worth of pharmaceuticals and vaccines? Who would do that? I hope you wouldn't do that. I would never do that. I think most listeners to the Alex Jones Show would not do that, because you have ethics, because you have a heart, because you know there is eternal judgment on your actions in this life, right? You know there's going to be a record. A record is kept of everything you do, and you will be held to account for it. Well, let's get to some other stories here. This is by Kurt Nimmo up on Infowars.com right now. Iran accuses U.S. of using weather weapons. I wanted to get to this during the show, but this is fascinating. And Iran is right now experiencing its worst drought since 1964. Now, here's the other thought on this. If the U.S. has these weather weapons, is it using them against the U.S. heartland right now to destroy the corn supply, the food supply? It's being crushed by about 60%, maybe 70%. Could be even worse before this is over. So are they being used against the domestic population and the farmers in America today? Maybe so. I don't know. Maybe that's another show. Let me go to this one. Business leaders hit back at Obama after he says the wealthy aren't responsible for their own success. Remember this? Remember this quote from, what was just yesterday or 2 days ago? Obama said during a speech, if you've got a business, you didn't build that. Somebody else made that happen. I can't tell you how offensive this statement is, how detached from reality it is, how ignorant of basic economic fundamentals this is. To claim that business owners and innovators and the people that put in the hours, the long hours, like I see people putting in hours around here. You know, Alex Jones built this network. I built up Natural News. Alex Jones built up Infowars. All the other innovators out there have built up their businesses. For Obama to come along and say that we didn't do that, that's absurd. It's offensive. It is ignorant. It is detached from reality. I just can't tell you how offensive that is. And even Rush Limbaugh then accused the president of, quote, destroying the American dream. I don't agree with Rush Limbaugh on a lot of things, but on this one, he's right. This is Obama destroying the American dream. What is this weird sickness, this psychosis among the communists who think that society gives you everything? That the individual isn't responsible for your own outcome, your own success or failure. That is a communist manifesto type of belief system, and it is un-American. It is anti-American to say that business leaders aren't responsible for their own success. That is so offensive. It's the small business owners that create the jobs for 90% of Americans. That's a fact you can't argue with, even if you're the president. In any case, I enjoyed sharing this info with you today. Thanks for your support. Thanks for allowing me to come on and just basically be part of the InfoWar. This is Mike Adams, the Health Ranger, sharing my thoughts with you today. Hope to be back in the future.